the personal practice for the individual who's pursuing evolutionary enlightenment as a path is based upon spending as much time as you can abiding in the ground of all being, as much time as you possibly can. Why? To free yourself from your own crazy mind. Right? That's why you're doing it. You're not going to get enlightened just from meditating. But the reason why you want to spend as much time as you can, assuming no relationship to the content of consciousness, is so you can free yourself from your own crazy mind and ego, so you can cultivate a reasonable degree of objectivity in a relationship to your own crazy conditioned mind and ego. Right? Nobody can do that for you. That's why you want to do that. So you want to do that in consort with the cultivation and the practice of the 5 tenets. That's what the path is for the individual. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what happens is that when you have more than one individual, which means 2 or more, authentically practicing the 5 tenets and spending significant amounts of time contemplating consciousness, new potentials emerge in the we context. In other words, between those individuals, in the intersubjective culture that emerges between those 2 individuals, new potentials emerge because they're practicing these 5 tenets, endeavoring to live them, spending significant amounts of time freeing themselves from their own crazy mind and ego. They begin to discover higher and deeper values, higher and deeper reasons for being, a thrill and excitement about creating the future, because new potentials begin to emerge in the creative friction between them, right? And then they find themselves very excited about what they're sharing together. What they're sharing together becomes very thrilling. What we are sharing becomes really exciting. It becomes a lot more exciting than my experience, because our experience begins to reveal, give birth to extraordinary, miraculous potentials that are absolutely wholesome, more than worth living for, absolutely worth dying for. And I do really mean that. You suddenly said, oh, then you discover a real reason to be alive. And so the collective or intersubjective context is the upper half of the model. What makes all this work, this higher we that I speak about work, for it to work, the 5 tenets have to be being lived in earnest. If the first 3 tenets are being practiced in earnest, it means the individual is really cultivating their own soul, which means their own capacity for integrity and transparency. Okay? To whatever degree anybody has a profound degree or capacity for integrity and transparency, such an individual is going to be trustworthy. They are who they seem to be, and they are going to do what they said they're going to do. Why? For the sake of the process itself. See my point?